We're on the same clock, man. This is the second time all three of our wives were pregnant at the same time.
Not planned, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's going to be allegations, there's going to be rumors, and they're not true. It was not planned.
Wow.
A bird.
A bird just ran into our window. Welcome back to the Valor Coffee Podcast.
Looks and sounds maybe a little bit different.
Yes. If you are watching on YouTube, you can see we're actually in our new space. This is a soft launch. You know, people say that term beyond just the soft launch of a coffee shop. They say it in a, I don't know, cultural sense.
Production setting.
This is a soft launch of our new space because basically Riley didn't trust us to set it up to the fullest.
No, it's not that. The space isn't set up to the fullest.
The space, yeah. So yeah, over here to my left here.
Oh, I got a good view.
Would be our new bar. And I think our viewers will be seeing that soon. But I'm excited to pin our ears back and finish.
Get after it, man.
Finish out this build out.
I think we're going to be flying around like our hair's on fire.
Yeah.
Trying to get this build out wrapped up.
But man, December 3rd, my 9-year anniversary. 9 years.
Anniversary of what?
Of my wedding.
Oh.
My marriage. We just had our third kid.
Very good.
Lot to celebrate, lot to be grateful for right after Thanksgiving. It's time to look back on 2025.
Are you feeling reflective?
I'm feeling contemplative.
Pensive? Even?
Possibly in my feelings. We'll see where it goes.
No tears on this podcast.
Do we first want to explain the silence and absence, the deafening silence of the Valor Coffee Podcast? How long has it been since our last upload?
You know, I meant to look up and see, but I didn't. I had forgotten. But you know, I mean, I have the world at my fingertips on this little mobile device. So if I just go to daggum YouTube,
we've been doing a lot of other stuff.
That's what I was thinking. There's other content out there. Maybe Spotify would be even a better metric of like when was it? And you know, there's some people miss it, I think.
I've had a few people be like, you know, where's the podcast?
And you're like, what? Yeah,
fret not. We have a full head of steam on the Valor Coffee Podcast.
Dude, only a month ago was the drive-through.
Okay. Maybe I'm just feeling a little guilty.
Yeah.
Because our listeners miss us in theory. And so we're back. And I would say the main reason we haven't been posting is we've been in this awkward in-between phase. You know, we used to film over here in our old roastery, which coming soon, once we have everything ready, is going to be a full Valor HQ tour, a virtual tour. So
no way.
You'll be able to see our front office, our warehouse, in this new space. So this new space allows us to let the warehouse truly just be the warehouse.
Pin your ears back, get after it.
Because it's this big rectangle of a room, and turns out when the roaster is running, we can't film buttery radio.
Yeah, we can't be us.
Yeah.
And we have to be us.
We have to be us. And
the roaster's not letting us be us.
Yeah, it's hard. And it's such a blessing, such a great problem to have that we almost always have that roaster running.
That thing needs to be turning, dude.
I remember when we first moved in here, we roasted twice a week. And we roasted for like part of the day twice a week.
Yeah.
And I would always just dream about what would it be like. I have no idea what our operation would be like if our roaster was basically always running.
Well, it's funny now to have some visitors pull up to HQ and just kind of, maybe their jaw drops a little bit. They're like, you have people working here?
Mm-hmm.
Like we have
people say that.
They're like, you have people working on their computers and like people, like multiple people working around the roastery. We're like, yeah. Huh. And I don't know how to take that. You're like, does it not feel like we're, should we clean it up a little bit?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this place is getting a little bit more, bumping. But yeah, what do you think about doing a little, well, I was also just going to say, you know, we've been in the will they, won't they. There have been 2 and about to be 3 paternity leaves this year.
Mm-hmm.
and we're just such a core group. You, the other guy, and myself.
Yeah.
It's hard to do things, it's just the twos of us.
We're on the same clock, man.
Yeah.
This is the second time all three of our wives were pregnant at the same time.
Not planned, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's going to be allegations, there's going to be rumors, and they're not true. It was not planned.
Wow.
A bird
just ran into our window. I think I'll just take a time to scroll through our YouTube and give a couple shout outs to some of the work we have been doing.
Sure.
For our listeners and viewers and subscribers.
We could do reaction videos to all of them.
And if you're not subscribed to our channel, it really, really helps us out. If you just hit subscribe, it's free for you. It costs you nothing and it helps us.
And it means everything.
And it's free for you. It means everything for us. We sort of experimented with a few different styles of content. I think back to our trip to Nashville.
A la Nashville. Oh.
We just walked around Nashville, walked to dinner. Yeah, we walked to dinner. Just recording 74 minutes of unfiltered business advice. And, at 601 views on our YouTube, I think, people might think that that's not a lot of views.
You ever seen 601 people?
But have you ever been in front of 601 people in a sold out school auditorium or, maybe a room, something like that?
Sold out, like moderately sized concert venue.
No, really. We're very grateful for your time that you've invested into our podcast and our YouTube. How to make your coffee cart dreams a reality. To be frank, we have a lot of people reaching out to us who are thinking about starting coffee carts.
Go there.
Run coffee carts. And for the longest time, we just didn't even know if coffee carts were worth doing. But we pinned our ears back. We promoted Joey Cristofanelli.
Yeah.
That happened this year, did it not?
That dude literally happened this year.
He took our catering operation from
zero to hero.
We were lucky, like 2 events a month, to next week, we have 11 events.
In a week,
in
bro?
1 week. And
is that even legal?
And so through that experience of building that side of the business, we've learned some things. I want to give a huge shout out to the team at Flash Quotes.
Oh, we got to give them their flowers.
Former sponsor, but current
on, but never forgotten.
Current, shout out worthy company on our podcast, because their program, their software has been the absolute engine hub of our catering operation.
They're made of the right stuff. End of the day.
And you got to work with people who are made of the right stuff.
Got to find the intangibles.
And Joey Cristofanelli has been on the podcast before on our What It's Like to Be a Barista episode. That thing absolutely went viral. And
gosh, kiss of death, basically.
Man, I'm just so proud of the work he's done, honestly.
I don't want to speak out of turn, but I do believe he might be the longest tenured Valor employee at this moment. Dude's been around.
Absolutely.
And one would think someone that's been around, it's like, okay, I'm worked here for a while, then I'm going to run a cafe. I'm going to be a head coach. And it just didn't happen for him. His years and figuring out where he can plug in. Dude's just electricity, You know
what I love about his journey?
Go ahead.
And what I love about coffee carts
is
that to run a coffee cart company or department, in this case, you have to be an absolute Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if I've said this on the radio before, but when I was talking with Justin from Flash Quotes about promoting Joey, this was even before we knew Joey was going to step into the role, I was just saying, Justin, we need someone to run our catering department. And they've got to be good at sales. They have to be good at operations, read like logistics and, scheduling and communications. They have to be good at being a barista, because it's not like we can just hire all these part-time baristas that might work an event in case we book one.
Sure.
And he was like, that's a really special person. Like, good luck finding that person. And I remember being like, yeah, I feel like we have some really great people on our team that, and Joey has been that.
He's made the right stuff. We've said it and we'll say it again. Yeah, he's killing it.
He really is. And just to see him step into the sales side of things, which he had no experience in
Mm-hmm.
before. I remember telling him, I just completely pulled this out of my butt, but like
Ew,
it's
dude.
sorry
Come
for
on.
like the gore there.
We just lost YouTube kids.
I was telling him that like instead of worrying about developing the skills to like close the deal or be the classical sales guy, used car salesman that you think of when you think of a salesperson, watching him in the Alpharetta Cafe, watching him absolutely own that space for so long, like when he was there behind bar, like that was his show, and there's so many great people around him, but like his personality is such a thermostat, term we use a lot, just setting the tone for the room. And that kind of confidence and presence only comes when you know everything there is to know about the operation.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, from the temperature of our steamed milk to what our espresso's dialed in at to local restaurants around the area. Like he really epitomized what we want the concierge role to be in our cafes, which is just like a gateway to the cafe, but also the city we're in for people that are visiting. And I was telling him that like, if you can feel that confident about the catering operation and about our carts and our booking and our pricing and our offerings and our lead times and our invoicing and all of those things, then you will be an awesome sales guy. And I feel like he has done that.
Yeah. Honestly, him taking over the catering operation reminded me of when he joined the team 4 years ago. And he was a little bit more like timid and a little bit more like focused and just like, I just got to get this right. I got to get it right. And then the more confidence gaining, it's just like his aura, his personality just really starts to shine. And I think that's the reason, one of the biggest reasons he was he's a great fit for the catering thing is he needed to be in something that involved like creating, not just like operating, like, hey, plug into a system and do it my way, please. Like Ethan's way, retail guy. But he needs to like, he has just such a, like ownership is the word I think about, but like entrepreneurial spirit to like run something himself in his way. And I think like with the tools of Valor, the tools of flash quotes, he could still make it all him, you know, like he does his own trainings and really like builds this part of the company. So yeah, that's a huge win for 2025.
Absolutely.
If we're looking at a cursory overview.
And for those listening, I'm sure if you're operating a coffee shop or if you've worked somewhere before, there's these awesome people that are on your team that you want to keep around as long as possible because they're such an integral part of your culture. But there's often a shortage of opportunities to promote people like that, especially in our industry. It's not like we have these just conglomerate companies that just have all these different roles where people can make a lateral move or you can promote them to X or Y. But to just make another part of the company and say like, dude, you've been faithful and you've pinned your ears back for years in the cafe day in and day out. If you want to take the next step in your career, then you're going to have to basically go make a new department to generate revenue to warrant a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. So cool. Another big pivot that we made this year on our content output is, we have the Valor Coffee community, which if you don't know is kind of, it's equal parts like coffee industry, social networking, and then also a hub for different resources that we've put out for free over the years. Well, mainly what I'm saying is it used to not be for free. We used to charge for the VCC, and we just had a change of heart.
Come to Jesus moment
where our YouTube, we had podcasts and a shorter video here and there, but we would host all the real meat on the community, including like Barista 101, which it's
a labor of love right there.
A 7-module comprehensive course that takes someone from no coffee experience to not a pro, but like you have all the foundation you need to take the next step.
The head knowledge.
And so we've put that out for free on YouTube. So, one of our last upload is Barista 101 Masterclass Become a Coffee Pro in 2 hours. And I think you'd be hard pressed to find courses of that quality. We've gotten so much better at making stuff since we filmed that, but like
Sure.
courses of that quality and breadth and, that level of content being put out just for free on YouTube.
Why would we do that?
I think there's a lot of reasons to do that. First of all, at our core, at our heart, like we want to see coffee shops open throughout our country, throughout the Southeast, throughout the world that equally prioritize hospitality and excellence in coffee. That's the vision of our company, which is to match the top 1% of coffee in the world with the top 1% of hospitality. And so putting that for free on YouTube, one, it's just a total flex, honestly, to put out a free 2-hour course on YouTube.
Oops.
But I think it's really helping a lot of people. We're at 3.7 thousand views on that as of...
Think about all those people in a room.
Yeah. A month ago, we uploaded that. So it brings me joy to see people get that kind of training.
Kind of a thing that we've never said, but you said it, which is our vision for our company is to match the top 1% of coffees with the top 1% of hospitality.
Yeah.
And that's also our greater vision for the industry at large. Isn't that interesting? That in a way that we're not exactly trying to be set apart in our direction, but we're almost like trying to go along with other places and people to something.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And off camera, we were talking about the reasons you start a company.
Yeah.
The core,
why,
things in your belly that you think about. I've been thinking of my belly a lot recently, Thanksgiving and everything.
Tryptophan.
Was we just didn't see very many coffee shops, very, very rare to see them just
pin their ears back,
have a team that like really had their walls down and was excited to serve people.
Yeah.
That's a big one, being excited to serve people. Like a huge line of people. That's really hard to pull off.
Licking your chaps.
But then also be absolute studs when it comes to coffee knowledge and coffee passion.
Right.
And we're not at our vision yet, but like we press on towards it every day. So if we can impact the industry, maybe there's a coffee shop that is a lot more on the fun hospitality side. If we can push them towards being more interested and passionate about coffee, or if there's maybe a more stoic, pretentious environment that's really into coffee but isn't excited to serve people, if we can push them and inspire them in some way towards the other side, then that's incredible.
If you kind of think about it like a race, I think one would like perform at a higher level if there was more competition around, Not saying that I'm not trying to say where we are in the race, but like, if you're looking to your left and your right and you're like, oh man, these people around us are doing some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
You could take that as like jealousy and be complacent and poo-poo, blah, blah. But you could also be like, okay, bar set, baby, let's go.
Yeah.
Time to rev my engine and what's our next thing? What's our next innovative move?
And it's in our orientation, setting a new standard for excellence in hospitality and food and beverage industry. And so we want that to be evident in our YouTube as well. A huge, huge project for us this year that we're still not done with, but we finally have a deadline for January 12th, I believe it was.
Don't quote us.
Posting our biggest masterclass course we've ever done, how to start a coffee shop. I think it'll be a runtime of around 3.5 hours. Could you give the listeners a few of the topics that we talk about on that and like why we think it'll be helpful?
Yeah, I think we were filming that kind of throughout the summer, and we're in December now.
Yeah.
But kind of in a similar vein of, maybe through this podcast, I don't know, but people coming to us and having this desire to do a similar venture, and us kind of growing at a certain size, we're like, how can we share the information that we have in a way that is generous, and yet lets us be generous with focusing on our company too, and focusing on the people that work at our company, because I think if we followed all the inquiries, we could just spend all of our days kind of retelling the same stories and tips, and I feel like on the podcast, we do a really fun job of being like, hey, just come learn along with us. But with this, it's kind of like, I think people want some like thoughts and some like, hey, you should try this. A little bit more like pointed from our experience. We would suggest this kind of stuff. And so we kind of just take the stories of building out Alpharetta in 2019, the Alpharetta Cafe, and building out the Dunwoody Cafe in 2022, and just share pretty much like anything that we used during that process. So like, how we came upon our lease, how we came upon finding the right location, what our budgets were, what equipment we bought. And we're just kind of putting all of that in like a big resource for people to access. Just because I think it still rings within us of like how into the unknown you can be when you're starting like a retail establishment.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like governmental hoops often, depending on where you live. And we were like, man, it would just be how epic would this would have been for us to have. So why not us create something that we can share with everyone else that's doing it, And so just in that more, I guess in that vein of sharing what we know on like a scalable level, you
right.
know? And yeah, permits, equipment, hiring, I don't think we kind of tease it, for what could be next if we want to run how to run a coffee shop. That's also been what this podcast has been about for the last 3.5 years. So,
right.
But anything else to the HT Sachs, as we call it around here?
How to start a coffee shop. There were several moments in recording that course and then also in the editing phase where I'm like, man, we are really in the weeds right now with build out stuff or with equipment or with, I feel like I felt that the most in the module about architect, about general contractor, about, your permitting and licensing and insurance. And honestly, like the first module or like the first part of the first module is us convincing people to not start a coffee shop.
Right.
Basically, are you made of the right stuff? And I think almost anyone can be made of the right stuff. It's just, is this the right fit for you?
It's the right time
in this season of your life? Because the coffee industry is not for the faint of heart, as we've come to learn. Just kidding. But yeah, that I feel like if someone actually watched all 3.5 hours of that How to Start a Coffee Shop masterclass, they would have 90% of what they need to know that we had no clue about with our first 2 cafes.
Sure.
So that'll be really cool. I'm excited to see if people actually watch it because it's not like fun.
No, it's not. It's not a cute
interesting.
Watch.
It's not like a clickbaity, but I think it is thorough and I think it is very valuable. So,
well, maybe we could talk about how we were able to pull off some of these videos. Is that we have a couple people. We've bulked the front office a little bit too. So we have Joey running the catering program. That was something you were technically running,
barely running.
You were like reactively managing, like, oh, we got an event. Crap.
Yeah.
But we brought on Dom, who maybe is in, I don't know, if we released any content from our second Columbia trip.
I don't think so. Not yet.
Well, we went to
maybe a little bit.
We went to Columbia again. Oops. And I just call him our media guy, but we have 2 like marketing media team members now.
Yeah.
Would you be able to succinctly explain what they do?
Yes. This is at least how it started in theory. It kind of evolves, but we've never ran a marketing team before, shocker. And so when you make 2 hires, you're like, okay, we have these 2 talented, capable people. How do we split up the tasks and roles? Because at the end of the day, we're paying these people to generate revenue for our company and build our brand.
Yeah, and if you're a coffee company, you can be like, you have a marketing person, and we're like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
because every hire that Valor ever makes typically is like, okay, whatever you do generates direct revenue,
right.
So we can quantify that value pretty easily.
So you mentioned Dom, and then also Lyndon, who I think has been on our Instagram more, and you may know her, but she is focused on campaigns.
Yeah.
Which, well, I'll just say, so she's focused on campaigns, and then Dom is focused on evergreen content.
Yeah.
And even the thought of us having a campaign 2 years ago would just be such a foreign concept.
We're more like, Valentine's Day is in a week. What are we gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah. And what that amounts to is,
it's Black Friday. Are we gonna do a sale?
Yeah. Are we gonna do a sale? Right. And I think we were just leaving so much on the table in it. And so another thought after this, but Lyndon runs campaigns. So she's involved with gathering all of the photo, video, ideation of our campaigns throughout the year, whether that be a holiday that's happening, like, Black Friday or Cyber Monday or something like that. That's like the magnum opus. But also, it's funny. You put out these marketing campaigns into the world and you think that they're amazing and they look awesome, but we're learning how to make them convert,
sure.
On Labor Day, instead of just having like a Labor Day sale. And that's the whole story. We did labor of love. Coffee is a labor of love. And we highlighted each step in the process of how coffee is produced, farmed, brought to our roastery, roasted and brewed. And that is just that's a lot more of a compelling story than just like Labor Day sale.
25%.
And so that was really cool. And then Dom on the evergreen side, evergreen content would be all content that's not a campaign. So the podcast or our YouTube or things on Instagram that aren't related to a campaign. Like, let's just shout out our free throw blend right now. Or like, let's talk about the pit crew and how awesome they are. Like, that's not a campaign, but that is a piece of evergreen content that's always there.
Something we're always doing.
Right.
He kind of helps coordinate all the coffee drop media too.
Yep.
Which is super helpful for me.
And another thing we've gotten into this year that Riley has really spearheaded along with his wife, Michaela, is email marketing. There's a really interesting metric that we use a service called Klaviyo. We used to use MailChimp. Whenever you send out an email, it connects to your Shopify where you take in orders, and it tells you how much revenue came from sending that email.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful metric. And, we just send a plain text email that took, maybe 30 minutes to write. We send it out to our whole email list, and it's like, oh, that's $3,500 of revenue, which may not be a lot to huge companies, but when you look at the time invested,
I'll take $3,500.
Like, that's incredible. And that's not only $3,500, but those are new eyes that are on our brand, maybe trying our coffee for the first time, that could end up subscribing or could tell someone about our coffee. And so Riley posted on his Instagram a couple of days back of like, it was like a picture of his board that has all of the Black Friday and Cyber Monday emails. And it was just like full of, I'm sure you've been getting the emails. Are you subscribed to our newsletter?
Both my emails.
So you get them twice.
Personal and business. That's
and
right.
he was just saying like, I never thought I'd be looking at the program's called Figma that he designs these things on. I never thought I'd be looking at a Figma file and like get teary-eyed to, just looking at all those email marketing campaigns. But it really has been like a lot of work, and it's been a new thing. This year, it feels like we have started doing a lot of new things within selling our coffee on the internet.
Sure.
But they all feel like the bare minimum of what we should have been doing all along.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes with having more people to do things.
Yes. Yeah. Have more people, because it's not like we weren't focusing on something, but, and what we can talk about in a little bit, it's like what I do now is because we have people that were doing what I was doing.
Right.
And then you're doing the new thing and you're like, whoa, why haven't I always been doing this new thing? It's like, well, you're doing another thing and you needed to wait until you found someone faithful to do your thing.
Well, it's either a people issue or it's a revenue issue. Like, let's say
more about that.
Let's say you start all the way, go all the way back to 2018 when we were a coffee cart in the back of a co-working space. We were technically a catering operation. We would take gigs from time to time. And then we started our roasting brand, Valor Coffee, on July 4th, 2018. Mm-hmm. And that was our launch. The three of us were doing everything, right? And so we didn't have enough revenue coming in to build the brand. So then you're like, okay, well, can you get an investor to give you money so you can hire people to do the thing? And it's like, well, maybe do you get a loan to like infuse your bank account with cash and then you're paying interest on that, but at least you have enough money in the bank to like hire some marketing people or like hire someone to do your job so you can focus on marketing. Mm-hmm. Maybe. And I think that really gets at another really key theme this year, which is that we believe in ourselves and we believe in the ability for Valor to go where we want it to go. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's always been the case. Like for example, as some of you may know that have listened to the podcast for a long time, I'm a musician and I have played gigs on the weekends since we started Valor as another way to bring in income because I don't make enough from Valor, right?
Oops.
And I felt like, after praying about it a lot and after talking with my wife and with you guys a lot, I'm like, okay, I think it's time to stop doing gigs so that I can focus on Valor more, even if it doesn't lead to more income on day one. I actually believe that this company is something that my time going towards the company is more valuable than my time grabbing a quick paycheck from playing guitar.
Sure.
And that was like a big mentality shift for me.
Big 2025 update for Ross.
To go from just how can I get as much money today as possible to survive to like, no, I think Valor can really be what we need it to be long term, and then investing in that.
Do you think, I don't know how much you thought about it when you were just in the situation you were in of playing gigs and doing Valor? Was it just like, Valor just is what it is and it's going to grow if it's going to grow?
Yes.
But now it's like, by all the power within us, we'll do what we can to make Valor grow.
Which was our mentality at the beginning. At the very beginning, it was just a cart and a pop-up and a cafe. And we're like, if we don't work all the time, this isn't going to work at all. Even now.
Yeah.
And then we opened a cafe and we were like, all right, this generates good top line revenue, but isn't a huge profit. And we knew that going into it.
Sure.
And we opened a second cafe and we're like, okay, that's another good boost, but it's still not enough to like really get us where we want to go. Mm-hmm. And then we're like, okay, our roasting is growing. If we can grow our e-com, that can actually be more profitable than a cafe would ever be.
Sure.
But the reality is that, and we can get into this with the cafes, this whole thing probably wouldn't have worked if we didn't have 2 high revenue cafes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what has that been in the last year for you, having been over either cafe at either time or both cafes at one time, now stepping into a role that is not directly contributing to the cafe's operations at all? Was that like a scary jump for you? Did you think about what that would be like, and like what's it like now?
Yeah. Well, so for context, I am now over our green buying, which just involves sourcing coffee, raw coffee, and getting it on the menu. And that was a big desire for us to expand our coffee menu. But yeah, I mean, the transition is kind of exhilarating, honestly. Like, I've very, very much enjoyably have been doing the same thing. You know, I feel like, you know, you and Riley have kind of ebbed and flowed in responsibilities, and like you'll run a project for a year and then do something else. But now you've been doing wholesale for a few years now. But I mean, just since we hit the ground of Valor in 2016, it's like Ethan is the front man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So over 9 years later,
yeah,
I'm like 80% of the time in that room over there, like talking to people and emailing and sample roasting and cupping and talking about coffee. It's different.
Yeah.
Really different. But boy, I mean, it's, exhilarating is the word. So when I took that over, I mean, it was like, I'm bringing home, in a fun way. It sounds bad, but like, I'm bringing homework with me, and I'm like working late, trying to like beef up my knowledge. It's like I'm in a new environment. I'm like, there's a new challenge. And I think I stayed really soft to just loving hospitality and loving taking care of our guests, because I don't know when the last time we talked about this, but you know, that feeling of taking care of a guest when it's slow at the pop-up in 2018, I still have that same like gut desire in me to like make the most out of every moment I have with a guest in the cafe, so that they feel seen, cared for, related to, in a way that they connect with us, they connect with Valor, and they want to come back, you know? And like that has not gotten old. Mm-hmm. And so anytime I get the opportunity to hop behind the bar, I'm like, I'm there. And I'm very comfortable to do that, which is really fun. But to have this like new challenge, I'm like last night, bro, I'm literally thinking in my sleep about blend components for Miracle. I'm like, ooh, what am I going to do once the Burundi's up? I think I'm going to put the Yabitu Koba number 3 in there, mess around with some blend like percentages and see what happens. Yeah. You know? And it's different, but I've really been sitting on this, you know, maybe it's the Thanksgiving spirit, but like I could not have done this without having 2 amazing head coaches doing a bang up job in the cafes. And similar to the Joey thing, it's just like, there's something to just letting someone that you really trust, I'm going to say it, pin their ears back and get after it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey dude, hey Paul, hey Savvy, this is your space. Yeah. I'm available. I'm a resource, but like, y'all know I'm going to be here. And so it's like, if you don't run it, it's not going to get ran. It ain't happening. Yeah. And so they have done an amazing job. Our pit crew, I beam. I'm giddy when I think about how because I think growing together is one of our core values, and us actually living that out, that genuinely hire after hire, year after year, we just get a more robust team, you know, people that are just like excited, and they like catch the vision faster, and they catch the mission faster, and they like live it out even faster, because they can stand on the shoulders of the people that were learning and progressing and making things better before they were even there, you know? So to honor the legacy of all the people that worked at Valor before. So it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, but I also chose to like get into green buying at the craziest time possible.
Yeah.
Probably pretty convenient just to be like an owner on that, because like for an employee to be in charge of that would be insane and really stressful, I bet. But you know, for everyone that knows that tariffs happened, boy, I don't know, was it August?
It's around that time.
You know, it's funny how little of time, because I think November was when all the tariffs besides Brazil were lifted. So I mean, it's only 3 months of chaos.
It felt like forever.
It felt like forever. Well, you're like, well, how long is this going to go on? Is the government really going to take away a revenue stream?
Yeah.
I don't know what you think about the government, but.
And just to spell it out, you can't grow coffee in America.
Sorry.
And so the tariffs are placed on goods that are imported from other countries. And yet there is no solution to make our product here. So then the tariffs hit when we were in Colombia.
Oh, maybe they were announced in April.
Yeah. When we were in Colombia, we were with the people there, with Lucas from Unblended, who's been on the podcast before. And he was like, bro, 10% tariff on Colombian coffees.
Yeah, we're just hanging out.
And I remember like looking at the sheet of all the different countries and coffee producing countries and like what tariffs were from what country.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, like what is this going to mean? And he was like pissed off about it, but he also had this like calm spirit about him, which honestly comforted me a lot.
Is it going to be okay?
He wasn't like, we're screwed. This is over as we know it. Like,
I'm taking you to the airport.
Yeah.
Let's just
like
wrap this up.
Trip means nothing now. But the trip actually meant more.
Oh yeah.
Knowing that. So go into that a little bit of like, you know, we debated for years on whether or not it was worth it in a highly, cash flow tight business to fly across the world to another coffee producing country. We debated if that was worth it for a while. And even after tariffs, we did it again.
Oops.
So what were those, like, what would you tell yourself 3 years ago who was deciding whether or not origin trips were worth it?
Oh man. It's hard because I think we really started on a high bar. I'll probably be going to more places next year with people I know less, because like Lucas is just a special guy.
He spoils us.
And so I'm really excited to see what other like trips look like, because I really don't want to just like go touristy, like just go visit a farm, take pictures, and be like, all right, check.
You want to go pin your ears back out there?
Yeah, I want to go get my hands dirty.
Get after it.
And that's why the first trip was out of season. It was a little bit more like relational. There's the workshop, lots of producers, not a lot of like finca visits, but just more like saying what's up, which is taxing if you don't have good Spanish. So I really need to keep building that. But the second one was more like during harvest, pin your ears back, go get your hands dirty, because work is just a universal language. A little labor, go plant some coffee trees with some dudes, go pick some coffee, process some coffee, get your hands dirty. You learn so much. They like get to learn about whatever they're interested in with you, which isn't much because we're not interesting.
You know what I think is one of the most like powerful, important factors in our whole company?
Go ahead.
It would be specifically your passion for coffee. And you don't just conjure passion out of thin air or out of like drinking enough cuppas.
Sure.
Like you going there is the reason you're going to sleep at night thinking about blend components, and that not feeling like I'm so stressed about work, but that feeling like I'm actually interested in this personally.
Sure.
So the fact that it fueled your passion and bringing Luke and Dom theirs as well, that is a very, very valuable thing that if you're just talking about return on investment is going to bring so much to our culture and our product and Valor as we know it.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't talk about growing your marketing without talking about like having a well-developed product.
Go there.
Because if you can't, yeah, you see people market a brand, and I understand that, you know, like a shallow concept. Like we just want people to fall in love with like the idea, but we want to have like a unique, awesome product to back up any marketing, and we want the marketing to come from like we have something cool to share. That I feel like the Purple Cow Seth Godin book lives rent free in my head when I think about marketing and product. It's just like you have to be doing something of value to market it.
Yep.
You know, it's not just vibes. Vibes are good. Vibes are good. So I think like if you're going to be in specialty coffee, and this is me telling me, old me, so not anyone that's not been to Origin, be like, dude, if this is your industry, like go get your hands dirty, go get after it, you know, go learn something. And so even just from that perspective, like building the passion. Now from the sourcing side, there is cool opportunity, because a hater would be like, well, can't you just talk to somebody, and can't they just send you samples and you taste them and then buy the coffee? And it's like, totally. Yes. That is like how most coffee buying happens. Like even in Colombia, I'm like, yeah, can you still mail me those samples so I can roast them and cup them and
Sure.
see if we want to buy them? But there definitely is like a right place, right time aspect of like, you know, we're working and Lucas is like, oh, bro, Yvonne here, you're bringing on his coffee. He actually has like one box of this crazy coffee, one of the best coffees we've had, but it's just like one case. Do you want it?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, he wouldn't have asked me that if I wasn't like in Colombia with him right now.
Yep.
It's like, it's just right place, right time. And now we're getting a really unique coffee.
Right.
So there's definitely that aspect to it. And I mean, we talk about this a lot. I think we talked about it a lot on our reflection, but the end of the day, these are all just business partnerships.
Yep.
And if we care so deeply about who we work with over here, like on a national level, like wholesale partners, vendors, anything like that, it's like, shouldn't we like, we're giving a lot of money to coffee producers and coffee exporters. So to be, just to be like wise with where we're giving a lot of our money to, and know that we're investing in like families, we're investing in like young entrepreneurs. That's an honor, you know? So I think getting to meet people and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, we've been buying your coffee for years now. And you have like a sustainable life because of that partnership.
Right.
And the same for us. And so then, that's definitely the most interesting aspect of this whole like tariff, because tariffs, the big thing was that there was a 50% tariff on Brazil, which produces, I think, like at least 30% of specialty coffee. And so basically nobody's buying coffee from Brazil. So that totally shrinks the supply of like available specialty coffee, drives up the demand for available specialty coffee. And then the New York Stock Exchange has a set like commodity price that is set by like the market. And so that's been at like just a sky high lately. And a lot of specialty coffee is sold at a differential to the commodity market. So if the commodity coffee price is $4 a pound, maybe importers sell a coffee at a differential of $150 or $225. And so whenever you lock in a contract, you lock it in at the commodity plus. And that's fine, I guess. I don't know enough to like I'm just learning. But what's cool about when you build a relationship with somebody, you simply can talk about their costs of production and like their true costs and what they need to make, and then what we need to buy it for, and just kind of avoid that whole cockamamie
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's, I mean, it's hard. I'm sure there's a lot of people that fully do that. And that's something that we're trying to move towards, which is great. But it's interesting that, you know, the ebb and flow of how much coffee is usually just set by like the commodity market, which doesn't have to have that much to do with specialty coffee, you know? But it's been fun, man. And then, you know, then there's this whole thing, the tariffs get lifted this past month, and it's like, when's coffee going to get cheaper? And the commodity market has actually stayed really high, which is interesting. It's probably only gone down 25 cents. I think that's just because my thought, Brazil still had a really good production year, but I think demand is just still really high because now people are trying to get coffee. A lot of people and a lot of importers were waiting on coffee. You know, you're kind of like draining your supply because you're like, I don't want to do a big contract on some really expensive coffee. I'm just really spitballing here, but I'm sure a few years ago, a lot of people's like blend components were like anywhere between $2.50 and $4, and like a steal of a blend component like coffee is like, it was like $5.50, $6 in this past little like season.
Yeah.
So anyone that like bought a coffee or contracted a lot of coffee, they have a lot of coffee to go through now. And it's probably not going to be until, you know, we see what things settle in like quarter one, quarter two next year. But dang, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I'm loving it. I really love it. It's kind of like a big puzzle, you know, and you got to think about like risk management. Like, okay, I can get this coffee now. I know I can lock it in at this price, but what's going to happen to the market is blah, 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 blah. But the most exciting aspect is building more relationships with more trusted individuals where it's just like, hey, let's not look at what I can get coffee for or what you can make on this deal, but like what's a fair shake for both parties.
Right.
And that's what we talked about a lot in that episode with Lucas and Ricardo, was playing that infinite game, you know, where it's not about winning. I'm not trying to beat the coffee producer. I'm not trying to beat the importer. But I'm trying to like buy sustainable coffee year over year.
And we talked about this, you know, if in case you guys haven't seen it, we have a really awesome, very well produced vlog of our first trip to Colombia. That was such a fun thing to make. One of the things that one of the producers said while we were there is, now that the C market is higher, I have a viable business. Like now that, and this was like a high-end producer.
Oh yeah.
This was a guy that was standing there around the cupping table, and we're cupping amazing coffees. He's making amazing coffees.
And we have his coffee right now.
We have his coffee right now.
What do we?
And he was, you know, he said, now that the C market's higher, I can start paying off debts. Like Reed, I was in debt because of how low the C market was.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't have been in debt if it was right.
Yeah.
So that makes your mind spin a little bit. Like, what are the implications of that? Is because the logical thought pattern would be Trump put tariffs on coffee prices are higher. Once tariffs go away, coffee prices will lower back to where they were. And that there could be some truth to that, but it's just not as simple as that. Because if you want that level of coffee, if we want the highest level of coffee that we're trying to source from that guy, then when the C market goes back down, his costs don't get any lower.
Sure.
Which is what you were getting at when you said, how do we make deals with producers that are adjacent to the C market, where we say, all right, sir, your harvest is X amount this year. What are your costs? What's a sustainable price for you? Does that price work for us? Yes. Okay, it does. If the C market goes way back down, like I said, it doesn't change anything for him because we were making the deal outside of the C market anyways. Reed, when the C market was at what, 275 when we started this, around there?
The Valor?
Valor.
Dude, it's been in the ones.
When it was there, that guy just couldn't make specialty coffee at that time, probably.
Sure. Yeah.
Because if he made a higher quality coffee, he just wouldn't be able to sell it for a profit that he can build his life around.
And what's really interesting, especially in Colombia, because so much of the area is great for growing amazing coffee, is that to make something like specialty coffee, and this is a generalization, it's literally just doing a lot more work once you pick. It's like how you pick, making sure you're getting ripe cherries, and then just like level after level of sorting. And so basically you're spending more time to get a smaller yield to get specialty coffee. So if
which shows up in the cup.
But if you just take your picked cherries to the mill, you can get whatever that market rate is that's kind of correlated to the commodity market, which is really interesting because when it's so high, like it's been, specialty coffee, like what a farmer, the farm gate price, like what a farmer could make, was neck and neck with just taking the cherry to the mill.
Can you spell that out a little bit more?
So when the coffee market is at that like $1, $2, $3 a pound, there's a gap between commodity pricing and specialty pricing.
Because the farmer could, like you said, take all of his crop, unsorted, lower quality practices, and just sell it to the mill at the C market price.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the exact C market price, but it's affected by that. The Coffee Federation in Colombia sets a price, correlated. And that's what's also hard is like you're doing a lot of currency exchanging. So it's in peso. So sometimes nothing changes, but like the peso is just weaker or stronger on a certain time. So that's always wacky. But at this current time, when it's so high, the commodity market is so high, like to take your picked cherries, ripe, semi-ripe, underripe, not sorted, you could just go get a pretty dang good price. Or you could choose to stay in specialty coffee and do all that hard work of sorting and getting a lesser yield because you're like doing rigorous amounts of washing and sorting.
Paying people to do that.
It, doing yourself. And so it'll be interesting just to see if things drop, but once again, that's relationships, right? So it's like someone's choosing the producers that are choosing to stay in specialty coffee are doing it because they know the sustainability of the relationship.
Yeah.
Because anybody could bet their bottom dollar that things are just going to go low again, and then what relationships do you have if you're just, all is taking your coffee to the mill?
You got to double click on that. The producers are choosing to stay in specialty coffee because of the surety, integrity of the relationships they have with roasters like us.
Sure. Yeah. Many other amazing roasters. Yeah.
Of course. That's huge.
Yeah. It's business, baby.
Like that. I think that we could have done such a better job, and we can do a better job of educating the consumer on all this stuff.
Yeah. And I'm excited. So I hope it is able to come out. We tried to record some stuff, some audio in the car in Colombia with Lucas and Trevor from Black and White. He was with us for half the trip. And that was awesome. And then I think we're trying to make some like, why is coffee so expensive videos that just highlight like the insane amount of work that goes into it on multiple levels. I think, and it's fair to assume this, and it happens sometimes, but I think we just think that like a coffee producer does everything, grows it, picks it, processes it, and then ships it, But there's a lot of like key players, and there's a lot of like milling and processing and logistics that happen that like everybody needs to make something on that. And understanding like what's key and what's fluff, I think some people call like some importers fluffy, but honestly, it's like, this has been probably the hardest time for importers. And we would get into something I really don't know how to talk about, which is futures contracts. And because coffee is so expensive, there's this understanding that coffee is going to be getting cheaper. And so like hedging your contracts on the futures market loses you money right now.
Right.
So if you hold coffee, you hold coffee in the States, you're just like,
if you as importers
are like holding on to coffee and you have to like reset contracts, basically, you're like constantly losing money. And during tariffs, that tariff bill happens at the port and the importer has to like $100,000 check for that container of coffee right there, sir. So importers get a bad rap, but they do like really important work. And they've been really getting the tough side, the short straw lately. And you've seen some have to just close up shop because that cash flow is insane. Because it's very roaster friendly to buy coffee from an importer because you're only paying for coffee typically on net 30 and whatever ends up in your roastery. So I could contract out 100 bags of coffee and I could pay like a little bit of rent on it basically to sit in the importer's warehouse where it's already been paid for by the importer. And like all that money's been getting trickled through the supply chain. But I'm not paying the importer back until, maybe it takes me 3 months to get through the 100 bags.
Right.
Plus 30 days. So it is a wacky world. It's a wacky world. And I don't know a ton, but I'm excited to keep talking to people that know more. And then, keep trying to, I feel like a weird perk of this whole like tariff, high commodity thing is that like all coffee just got a little bit more expensive. And what that unlocks for roasters is just the opportunity to start sustainable relationships with those people that are actually running like viable businesses for themselves. And then we can hopefully keep doing that, you know? Because what's crazy is that all of that, like that guy, Yvonne, being able to get out of debt has only at our end only translated to like price increases on our, year-round options at like between 7 and 10%, which is like, I don't know, 7 to 10% of like a shot, which is like 10 cents per cup.
Right.
It's like if we can adjust that and like make that work on the cafe and roastery level, then we can like really set up successful, sustainable standards for bringing in ethically sustainable coffee.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Instead of like everybody's like, I thought coffee is 99 cents. It's like, man, it is crazy that drip is $3.50, $4 somewhere. But like, darn it probably should have been that for a long time. It probably should be more, frankly, based on how much daggum work is going into this thing.
Right.
And not even that we're getting money, but we want to make sure that the right people are getting money.
So we can keep doing this.
Yes. Yeah, and I mean that's just what's going to be interesting to see is like who's going to keep doing coffee, who's going to like keep choosing to go through this.
When I say so we can keep doing this, I mean like so that consumers can continue to enjoy the level of coffee as they know it.
Yeah,
because if the system is broken, it's only a matter of time before it breaks.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden you can't get X or Y coffee anymore because the person who grew that coffee is no longer growing it because they can't.
Well, yeah. I mean, then you can just get back to like, we talk about unblended a lot, but the heartbeat of unblended is that, the problem they're addressing is that people aren't getting into coffee farming because they're running failing businesses basically.
Yeah.
And the median age of a coffee producer is just getting higher and higher and higher. And so they're trying to empower and like get young people excited about getting into specialty coffee where there's a more sustainable path for them, and that's why it's just fun it's fun to go down there because that's kind of like the ethos with those coffee producers is that they're young entrepreneurs trying to like build a company in Colombia. They're trying to like build their own thing too. And so when we're coming down with our merch to share, or like we want to make a video, it's so symbiotic to be like, yes, like I want people to know that I grow this coffee. I'm proud of this coffee. Put my name on the coffee, please.
Right.
And we're like, yeah, like we're so excited to say that this coffee is from Jessica and Diego Parra, you know, like, but if you're buying crap coffee at an unethical rate, you know, it's like, oh, I don't want to talk about where this came from. Just know it's Valor coffee. It's good. It's good enough. But like we want to highlight people. And this is nothing new. But that's what's kind of fun though, is like the best stuff isn't that original. It's just good.
Yeah.
It's just doing the right thing.
Right.
So I know we camped out there for a while.
No, it's so huge. And I always wondered what green buyers do at coffee roasting companies, because for so long we just looked at an offerings list from an importer, tried the coffee, and if we liked it, we put it on the menu.
Sure. And if it was the right price.
And if it was the right price, we did it.
Yeah.
And I think in certain market conditions, you can do that for a small amount of time. But then when the market goes crazy, you're forced to make another plan. And then we realized that like that plan was what we should have been doing all along.
Like email marketing.
It's the same exact thing. The same exact thing. So to end on a high note, this is just praise report. Like we're just so excited about where our roastery's headed.
Mm-hmm.
Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just to give you listeners a little peek into what a roastery is like on that weekend. So what happens is, so we're roasting every day, right? So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of Thanksgiving week, normal week, right? And then Thursday comes and it's Thanksgiving and you take that day off. So you're not roasting any coffee. And then the next day is Black Friday and you give your team that day off because that's just what you do. You know, day after Thanksgiving, you get a long weekend, right? So no coffee is roasted that day. That day you have the biggest sale of the year, Black Friday. And then you run that sale like all weekend. So you have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of no roasted coffee, no packaged coffee, no one's doing anything. And you have a massive amount of orders accumulating and piling up, unprecedented amounts of orders that you've never experienced before. And then
because of your emails.
And then you come back on Monday for work. And that Monday happens to be Cyber Monday, which I think was, Riley might be pissed at me for saying this. I think it was bigger than Black Friday. Cyber Monday was, as far as revenue. It could be wrong about that. And so you have a whole new influx of orders that are coming through for Cyber Monday, and you're trying to dig out of the weeds up from Black Friday and also your time off that you took off, right? And so that week, the week of Cyber Monday to that Friday, is called Hell Week.
Has a name.
We call it Hell Week. Right now we're on the Wednesday of that week. And in years past, we were just chronically understaffed. And
because it's also a holiday. So you have people that want to do crazy stuff like go see their family.
Yeah. What's up with that?
I don't know.
They don't want to package coffee.
So weird.
We had our team step up a lot during these times, but so then that led to like the three owners jumping on the line and
Big
staying
mistake.
as late as possible to just get as many orders out as possible. Then you also have wholesale customers that are placing the big orders, and you have to get them their coffee.
Maybe some of the biggest orders of the year for them too.
On the same turnaround time as they're expecting, because they're as busiest as they ever are that time of year.
Yeah.
So it's like your whole systems and everything are just squeezed for 1 week, and you have less people. And it just hasn't felt that way this year. And we have, I forget what the percentage increase of.
I thought it was like 135%, but I
was going to say 137.
So that sounds good.
We have over doubled our sales for this period of time, but we've staffed up, and it's just awesome.
Yeah.
And we're here recording a podcast while that's happening at a sustainable rate.
Then we're going to get a lunch for 2 hours.
We're going to get a couple of margaritas at the Mexican restaurant.
Maybe. Probably not. Yeah.
It's just cool.
So if anyone from the roastery is listening, get back to work. And thank you so much.
Go to bed.
Go to bed. It's late, dude. Yeah, it's cool. Everybody's doing a really bang up job. And we had our once a month leadership meeting on Tuesday afternoons yesterday. And you have a couple moments of teary-eyed like reflection of like, these are good people.
Yeah.
These are good people that work really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pinning their ears back.
They are.
They're getting after it. They're running around like their hair's on fire.
Yeah.
So very, very grateful for that. A couple of things we didn't talk about. We do have instant coffee now.
Yeah. Finally made the jump.
That's crazy.
Instant coffee.
Sup.
Yeah. We're learning it. Like we're learning how to market it. We're learning the product, the audience, but we just knew that we at least wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And so we have it.
And we did do it a long time ago for a little bit.
We did.
So
back in the day.
Someone was like, it's so bold of you to do instant coffee, like in your specialty coffee. And I was like, I feel like the big players are all doing instant coffee, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a way to, it's like a bridge product. I mean, frankly, it's for anybody. Like I'm going to be taking some on my travels for sure.
Definitely. Well, the average consumer probably doesn't know any of the big players. They've maybe heard of them.
Sure.
And they definitely don't know they do instant coffee.
Heard of Folgers?
You know? So I always try to remember that too. Like balancing what people in our industry think versus what the average consumer that would actually buy that product thinks and perceives our product as.
Sure.
Because they probably just see Valor and they're like, oh, it's probably good because it's Valor because I bought something else from them. Like, let's try it. Hopefully that's what they think.
I trust these guys. You're good guys.
Anything else on your mind?
Well, it's not fully fleshed out, but I didn't know if you wanted to talk about, since we spent so much time talking about green coffee, about and speaking of bridges, the exclusive coffee concept that has kind of been in the works all year.
Yeah, well, when you were talking about the value of going to Origin, I was thinking about that because we were sitting at breakfast with Lucas,
like
overlooking beautiful mountains and just enjoying our time. And the idea to, because I'm thinking through everything from a wholesale perspective because that's my job and I love it.
It's your lens.
And it doesn't always make sense to all expenses paid, bring your top 5 wholesale customers to Origin just because they're your customer. Yeah. Just because there's not enough money at a wholesale rate to go around, even if they're doing some great numbers. And so I'm like, okay, well, how can we include them in this in a way that makes sense for all parties involved? And we started talking about sourcing specific coffees from single producers that are only available for that wholesale customer. Mm-hmm. So the only place you can find that coffee roasted by us is in their cafe and then on our web store. And it's not available for any other wholesale customer, just for them. And we've done that with 2 of our wholesale partners. We've done that with Elliott in Dayton,
Kentucky. Not Ohio, guys.
Yeah.
You think it's Ohio, but it's not.
Dayton, Kentucky. Elijah has been on the podcast before. We had a live exit interview with him.
Yeah, and things are still going well.
He used to work for us, and he started a beautiful, nationally renowned cafe. It's like people talk about Elliott.
Oh, it's cool, man. He's a unique guy doing unique stuff. Got a killer team. They're pinning their
in a
back.
Small town. I mean, it's right below Cincinnati. But it's its own thing, and it really stands out. It's purple cowing, like crazy. And then also David Vincent in Topeka, Kansas at Circle Coffee. Love them. Great to be able to go visit them a couple years back.
Catch a Chiefs game all together.
Catch a Chiefs game.
Watch him beat the Saints.
Yeah, he brought the two coffees that we sourced for them were through Unblended, and they're people that you have met in Colombia, and to be able to loop our wholesale partners in with that story is such a blessing. And to get on, we haven't done it yet. We're still, dealing with the logistics and matters and scheduling and stuff. But to get on a Zoom call with the producers, the importer, Unblended, the roaster, the wholesale customer, and the baristas that work at that cafe all together. To is right. Like,
what's going to happen?
Is there going to be a fight that breaks out? Is it going to go sour? Who knows? Just kidding. It feels great to be the initiator of people's passion for coffee.
Yeah.
And to bring greater value to someone's operation by giving them a better product, but also connecting them with every step of the process. It's just really fun. And to make it exclusive to them is just really cool too. So on our website now, we have 2 coffees that are exclusive to wholesale customers, and I'm excited to do it more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much we can do that. I'm like, can we really have like 100 coffees on our freaking website?
No, we can't.
Maybe. Yeah, and I mean, not that it's just about money, but like, what I was going to say is making it not about money too. We get on a Zoom with Carolina Ramirez and the whole Cafe Elliott staff, and there's relationship. And then like if things develop, things change, it's like there's context, instead of like, this coffee's more expensive. It's like, hey, Carolina had this happen at her farm.
Yeah.
The coffee's going to be this price. Is that still working? It's like, oh yeah, of course we want to still do that. But it's like coffee you don't know, coffee producer you don't know. It's like, hey, price is up. It's like, oh, we need to go do something else because we have to fit these marks. And it's like, maybe that needs to happen. That's fine. But I mean, that happens. We're trying to, the thing that we've been working towards and we hit in the labor of love was working with Santiago Arango. And this is some of his first times fulfilling like bigger orders for a specialty coffee shop. And so me and Lucas have been having a lot of back and forth. Like, hey, we said this, it's going to look like this right now. And it's like, it would be, if I was just working with an importer or something, it'd be very like frustrating and be like, oh, you said this. Mm-hmm. Now it's not this. Be a man of your word. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, we're trying to learn how to do this together. I'm trying to play the infinite game with Santi, and he's trying to like stay in specialty coffee. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, I just need to change my projections. Big whoop. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm prioritizing this relationship because I know how special and sustainable it is for this company.
Absolutely. So, and the last thing I'll say about the wholesale program we just talked about, and we could really do a better job of this internally at Valor with our team, is giving your baristas that work at your cafe, let's give them something to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Having something on the tip of their tongue that is actually interesting to them, instead of just expecting them to be passionate about coffee without giving them any reason to be passionate about coffee.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would it be for someone, a guest, to be tasting the drip at Circle Coffee in Topeka, Kansas, and there's someone behind the bar that says like, oh yeah, I was just on a Zoom call with these 2 siblings that grew this coffee. Mm-hmm. And he said this, or she said this about the coffee. Like, that's just value for your guest.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of what it all comes down to, like the end consumer. How do they value specialty coffee?
Yeah. Yeah. Cause if things change and drip coffee stays $3.50, $4 a cup, and Folgers or the grocery store or wherever down the street is $1.50, like, what's the gap? What's the value? How are you filling that finance gap with value?
Right.
Instead of just being like, well, the coffee's better. Coffee's good.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if that's going to be enough for a lot of people,
Absolutely. I could be mistaken, but I think we just did a podcast. It kind of felt like we just hung out, but that's all right.
Hey, man.
Let's go to lunch, get a couple margs.
Yeah. Lunch is calling. Steak fajitas.
Steak fajitas are sizzling already for us.
How do they do that? How do they sizzle?
Thanks so much for listening. We are excited for a great 2026.
Looking ahead.
Very hopeful, expectant, ready to work hard, ready to pin our ears back and get out there and bring you all, our listeners. We're looking at all 3 cameras right now.
Ding, ding, ding,
Just
ding,
more
ding, ding,
consistent
ding,
content,
ding.
you know. Podcast is something that if you're still listening at this point, you're obviously a fan.
You're a real one. Thanks.
We're going to keep doing this, and we love doing it. We love you. Thanks for listening.
Peace.